Did all three of you make it through 3 minutes?
Yeah.
You did, yeah? So what was it like you was watching on the screens?
It was just chicks getting blended and then other.
Horrible. It was like, they didn't care about them.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it, right? Like, do you see the babies being taken away from their mums for the milk? Yeah, you
And they were
saw.
like killing pigs with gas.
That's right, they're putting pigs in gas chambers and the knocking of the pigs, like the blunt force trauma of all the pigs. Do you know why them animals are in them situations?
No.
Not sure?
Oh, food.
For food. Yeah, it's all for food. Do you think that it's justifiable what happens to them for food? No, I agree. I think that we shouldn't put animals in them positions. Do you think that when you watch that footage that the animals looked like they were struggling or they were in pain or they were uncomfortable?
Yeah. All of it.
They're all of it?
They didn't really know what's going to happen though.
Say again, sorry?
They didn't really know what's going to happen to them.
Well, you say that, right? I've been to slaughterhouses where they bring the animals to like the front of the trucks and you do something which is called bearing witness, where you go over and you just let the animals know that there are activists out there that see them. We know what's going to happen to them and we're sort of just there to sort of let them know in their last moments that we're trying to do our best for them. And when they're in them trucks, they are so scared, they're shaking, and a lot of the time they wee and poo a lot because, you know, like a fight and flight response where like your body just starts shutting down. It happens, so they're very aware of what's happening like as they go in.
It's so sad.
It's sad, right? So if they're showing signs of fear and distress, would you say that that's quite similar to how perhaps humans would be if we were in that position?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. How would you think, or how would you feel if it was you in their position as the humans that would also act in that same way?
I'd be weeing and pooing as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah. So when people say like, we put them in there for food, right? And people say, I like the taste of their bodies, or I like the taste of milk from the mother cow, so it's okay to kidnap the babies. Do you think that that sounds like okay? Does it justify what happens to them?
No, because there's different ways of doing it.
Okay,
There's
interesting.
nicer
So
ways of doing
what is a nicer way of doing it?
Like,
If they die
Have a
naturally,
farm.
like old age.
If they died of old age? Okay.
Or like milk
have a
food
farm.
Yeah.
Like
Having
a
a,
farm.
that is,
And then
so
you milk a cow.
So the stuff that you guys just watched, that was RSPCA approved and it's red tractor and it's organic and free range. The reason why we show people the best of the industries is because if we showed you the worst of the industries, you could say there's a better way of doing it. So that is the most humane slaughter that animals go through.
That's so bad.
The word doesn't work right, humane slaughter. Like humane means to be benevolent, like to be kind and to be loving. And then we put it in front of the word slaughter and then people feel like the animals aren't in pain or suffering. Here's a question, right? Let's say that them animals don't know what's happening, they don't feel pain, and it's just almost like someone just turns a light off and ends their life. Is that justifiable? Is that okay?
No.
I agree. Because we're still taking their life away, right? For people, it's a 15-minute meal. But what does it cost the animal?
Their life.
The whole life, right? It's not justifiable, is it? So up until this point, perhaps you never have you ever seen that sort of footage before? No? So up until now, like, and we're not judging you, but I can't judge you, like, you know, I used to be a non-vegan too. I saw the footage the same as what you guys have done, and then I changed because I realised the damage I was causing with my choices. So we know that the animals are in there because people are eating their bodies and what comes out of them. How do you think we can affect what's happening on them screens?
By stop eating meat.
Stop eating meat? What else?
Shut down the slaughterhouses.
Shut down slaughterhouses. What else could we stop consuming?
Meat.
And what about
Milk.
milk? Yeah, good one. Eggs, nice. Now, we're talking about the animals that we eat or things that come out of animals that we eat. What about things like leather?
Yeah.
So, like, I presume, I'm not judging you, I'm not singling you out, I presume you're wearing leather jackets. Okay, so it's weird, right, to think that that was the skin of somebody.
Yeah.
What about wool?
Yeah, that's really
Yeah, the wool industry, they think that sheep get sheared just right for the benefit of the sheep, but as soon as the wool production declines in sheep, what do you reckon they do to the sheep?
Kill them.
Yeah.
So sad.
What about things like aquariums or zoos? Do you think that they're humane? Do you think that that's kind? Nice, yeah, no, it's the same because we put polar bears inside little squares and they live their whole life in these little areas. It's not natural, it's a prison, right? And people pay and they profit off the back of animals. Do you think that it's like okay to profit off the back of animals? No. Do you agree that the animal's life to them is just as important as to your life as to you?
Yeah.
Cool. So, like, just having a quick 10-minute conversation, it sounds like your ethics and your morals are the same as mine. But what's going to make you align your actions to align up with your ethics and morals? You heard of veganism?
Yeah.
So what's going to make you guys vegan? Or would watching that, I mean, to be honest with you, you watched more of that than I did. I saw 30 seconds of the dairy industry and I went vegan. So what about you guys? Would you go vegan?
I think it will change, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I
What-
definitely wouldn't eat meat all the time.
All the time. Okay, but you'd eat it some of the time.
Yeah, like not all the time.
Okay, the time...
Special occasions, like Christmas
I
and
reckon
stuff.
I could stop eating meat, but I'd have to eat like milk and eggs.
Why would you have to eat milk and eggs?
I don't know, because it's just in a lot of stuff.
Okay, but do you think that you can find like a vegan option?
Probably.
Yeah,
Because I'm vegan, so I don't eat any animal products like meat, eggs, dairy or fish.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like this sign here before on foods? Like that, like V? So that means it's a vegan option. So do you think like for us, like we should really seek out the vegan option? Do you think it, all right, here's a question. Do you think it's easier for you three to find the vegan option than it is for the, say, pigs in gas chambers?
Yeah.
Do you think that we sort of owe it to the animals to maybe educate ourselves a little bit? I'm going to give you some stuff to help you with this afterwards. I'm not just going to leave you. Do you think that it's up to us to educate ourselves to stop that happening to animals?
Yeah, I feel like more people need to find out about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because education, once people are educated, they can make better decisions, right? So now you've been educated, like you know probably more than most people now about every single species that goes through these horrible like murder gates into them factories where they have their heads cut off. So what's going to like make you change your actions? Because you said meat some of the time, right? So let's go back to the meat some of the time. Is it okay to kill less animals?
No.
Okay, so that is equating to meat some of the time, right? Because each individual it matters to. Us four here, if someone walked over with a gun and shot you, do you think that you would care that us three didn't get shot? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for the one individual that is murdered, it matters the same to them as if everyone was murdered. And we wouldn't want to put one animal through it, right?
No.
Because you guys are a bit like shell-shocked with like all the information coming at you, like it's a lot to take in, right? But we can overcomplicate it, but we can make it really, really basic. On its most basic level, if you're against what you've just said, and if you're against animals being exploited and murdered for something as trivial as taste or fashion or entertainment, then veganism is the baseline. It's the first run of that ladder that you just turn to, and you just stop contributing to it. The second you stop contributing towards them industries, what do you think will happen to them?
They're shut down, they're stopped.
You got it, right? They're supply and demand industries. And they are supply and demand industries on the most minute level. So coming back to some of the time, if you buy 1 pint of milk off the shelf, say, rather than 4 pints of milk, that's still going to contribute into that system and still contribute into the babies being taken away, the mothers being exploited and murdered.
Yeah.
So any contribution towards it is like a vote with your money. So do you think that it's a more moral and ethical decision to like now live your life as a vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what are you going to do? Like, because we have to be personally accountable, right? That's why I'm trying to like bring it down right to your level to make you understand that you are so influenceable within this system. So on a personal level, what's going to stop you guys going vegan, or are you going to go vegan? Are you going to take personal accountability of your actions from now is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You reckon?
probably.
Yeah, probably, or yeah, or...
I don't really know because it's quite difficult because obviously I'm still a kid, so, and I don't know if my mum would make that much effort.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, right? But let's say that your mum's not seen that. Your mum doesn't know what's going on in there. She may have, like my dad didn't. Like my dad's like 60 odd years old. He didn't know until I went home and said, Dad, I've seen all this stuff. Like, come and watch it. So, so you don't know what your mum might react to, right? But I'm going to give you an analogy because I presume that you don't do the shopping at home, right? So let's say tomorrow's Sunday, okay? Tomorrow when you come in for your Sunday roast dinner, instead of the roasted chicken's corpse on the table, there's a roast dog on the table. What would you say to your mum?
I just walk away. I wouldn't talk to her either.
You'd be shocked, right? Yeah. You'd be thinking, why is there a roast dog on the table? Now, for that animal, what's the difference between it being a roast dog or a roast chicken? What's the moral difference?
Yeah, dogs as pets.
But is there a moral difference between the two?
No.
People just normalise eating like pigs and cows more than dogs.
That's right. Animals like pigs, cows, chickens and sheep and lambs are given numbers.
Yeah.
And dogs and cats are given Christian names and given a home, given a warm bed. We put them on take them for a nice walk, and we consider their emotions and their values. We don't consider the other animals. Is that unjustified? Is that wrong? Should we consider everybody morally the same?
Yeah.
So going back to, it's difficult at home. If you were to go home and have a roasted dog's body put on the table, you'd stand up and you'd say, no, like, I'm not going to eat this. This is mad, right? So morally and ethically, it should be the same. And if you went home and said to mum, listen, I've seen this stuff, I'm going to give you a card so you can watch this with me. I'm going to make these choices from now on. Hopefully your mum would say, look, I respect you making them decisions and I'll look into it with you. So many parents have gone vegan because of the younger generation coming home and saying, I've seen this, I've watched this, I've spoke to that person and I've changed. Would you agree that's something that you'd be willing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after that video.
Yeah. You won't ever unsee it, right? That's why we do it the way we do it here, because you can't unsee it. Next time you're in a supermarket, you'll see things differently.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see what you saw. You won't be as disconnected because you've been brought up the same as I was brought up, right? I walked into a shop, I just saw food in packets. But you see it differently now because they're all of someone. Yeah. Nice, thanks for talking to me. Let me give you this card. I've got one here, but if you all go to the website, freemovies.wtf, that's BMTH3. Well, have you guys got smartphones?
Yeah.
Take that as well so you can back it up. Scan that QR code and it will take you to the website, and then you put in that code and it will take you to a load of resources. You got it? Cool. That's it, and that's the code there, BMTH3. It's written on the other little code there.
Why is yours not working?
That's it. Pop that in there and just have a look through some of the documentaries, right? And there's a Challenge 22 on there. You can sign up to that. It's completely free to sign up to it. And you'll have support for 22 days on how you can be vegan, how you can make vegan options. Like, say for example, my mum shops at Tesco's, what food can I tell her to get?
Yeah.
They'll help you with all them sort of things. And there's a speech at the bottom called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by a guy called Gary Yourofsky. I really recommend watching it. And watch it with mum and dad or your family so they understand the decisions you've made. And just remember, the whole time you're in that slow process of changing, any money will be directly funding what you've just said. We have to take personal accountability to make systemic change. The animals need you guys, and then they need you to speak up for them.
Yeah.
They haven't got a voice. That's why we're doing this for them. They don't have a voice. They're just locked in these dungeons, being dragged off to have their heads cut off because people like the taste of their flesh. It's mad, right? Cool. Thanks so much for talking to me. Have a nice day, and I really hope you look into that a bit further. Cool. Thanks so much.